to my talks on early Hollywood. The stars, the scandals, the studio secrets, and the unsolved mysteries that still spark curiosity today. Unfortunately, an estimated 75 to 90% of all American silent films made before 1930 are considered lost forever, vanished into the ether of time. Why? Well, because back then, nobody really thought they were worth keeping. Studios saw them as disposable commodities, just like yesterday's newspapers. Once a film finished its run, reels were often discarded. They might recycle them or leave them to decay in hot, damp vaults. Also, silent films were made on silver nitrate film stock, and this was really fragile and also very flammable, so a lot of reels were lost in fires. So, every time we watch a flicker of a silent movie, or share a story about a film star, what about the beautiful, enigmatic Greta Garbo, or the really talented Buster Keaton, or the smouldering, iconic Rudolph Valentino? We are keeping a vanished world from disappearing completely. Silent movies had their own unique voice, and that voice totally deserves to be heard. Hence my talks. Now, one story that's vanished from that era still crackles with scandal to this day: the suspicious, the shadowy death of Hollywood mogul Thomas Ince. Now, Thomas Ince was one of Hollywood's most powerful men. He wasn't just a film director, he was an architecture of the modern studio system. And he built Incefilm. This was Hollywood's first all-in-one movie studio, perched just outside LA. It had everything: sound stages, editing rooms, workshops, wild sets from western towns. It even had jungle camps, livestock, so you had all your cattle there as well, costumes and props, all right on site. And Ince, he looked the part too. He was polished, he was poised, always immaculately dressed. Now, he wasn't a drinker or a wild partier, but in November 1924, everything changed. So, long before there was Rupert Murdoch, long before Elon Musk, there was William Randolph Hearst. And he was the original media mogul. He was born rich. His father was a Californian gold rush millionaire. And at 24, the young Hearst took over the San Francisco Examiner, turning dry columns into spicy stories. His yellow journalism was infamous: sensational headlines, lurid scandals, and just enough truth to keep it legal. And his influence was massive, and so was his ego. So he invited Ince onto his yacht for Ince's 42nd birthday, and also to seal a studio deal. Now, this yacht was pure luxury. It was opulent. It had marble fireplaces, gilded staterooms, velvet salons, and French cuisine. So nights sparkled with vintage champagne, secret film screenings, and concerts by moonlight. Now, the guest list, that was a veritable who's who of silent Hollywood. Though it is difficult to say exactly who was on board, because unfortunately the guest list mysteriously disappeared. But I can tell you, definitely on board was Marion Davies. She was Hearst's mistress, a dazzling actress and 34 years his junior. She was ever the charming, witty hostess, and she was said to light up the deck with her warmth and her humour. Also on board, we have Charlie Chaplin. Though interesting, later on he said he was never on board. And Charlie Chaplin wasn't just Hollywood's most famous film star, he was a global phenomenon, a creative powerhouse. And there were some rumours swirling that Charlie Chaplin and Davies were very flirtatious, and maybe they were even having an affair, though nothing was ever confirmed. Hearst, famously jealous, reportedly seethed seeing Chaplin give all this attention to Marion. Now, you know, things were bound to get tense, because on board we have this love triangle, Davies, Chaplin and Hearst. Add champagne, ego and jealousy, what could possibly go wrong?